Hi, everyone. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our culture unit today. And, of course, cosmetics or makeup is a very important thing in the lives of local people, mostly for women, but the men get into cosmetics sometimes too. But we're talking about the important role of cosmetics in ancient Egypt. Yes, indeed, they loved their makeup back there in the years of the pharaohs, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
It brings to mind some movies that I saw when I was younger, like the 10 Commandments. Remember that when that was on TV?
Sure.
They always had the most glamorous women have those beautiful black-lined eyes that look like cats. Yeah, I always think of that when I think of Egypt. They were far ahead of the rest of the people around the world. Even in the 1800s, women weren't wearing makeup. So if you go back and look at old photographs, I'm talking about America here, you don't see any makeup. Those Egyptian ladies figured out that if they added a little bit, they'd look even better.
I think women, for the most part, wear too much makeup. You look fine without it, girls. But still, some people think, nope, I can't go out unless I put on some mascara or some rouge or lipstick or
I have to say, for the record, I'm not pro-makeup for the guys. It makes them look like girls.
I've tried it before. I looked really bad. Yeah, you know, every once in a while, friends, their girlfriends or their wives just want to try it out. Of course,
just for fun.
My daughter did when she was younger, tried to put some makeup on me. But in any case, I guess they used it for both genders in ancient Egypt, both for the men and the women. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the important role of cosmetics in ancient Egypt. So let's get to it. Let's read the entire content of our lesson right now.
If you study statues from ancient Egypt, you'll notice something remarkable. While people from most civilizations at the time preferred a simple and plain appearance, ancient Egyptians liked to look their best. This was due in large part to their fondness for cosmetics. In ancient Egypt, everyone used cosmetics, regardless of their place in society. The most common item was body oil. Because of Egypt's harsh climate, it was essential for people to keep their skin moist so it wouldn't dry out. Body oils provided hydration, so people could work long hours outside. In fact, ancient Egyptian workers were often given body oils as part of their salaries. Green and black makeup was commonly applied around Egyptians' eyes to create the illusion of almond-shaped eyes. In addition, this makeup helped shield the eyes from the powerful rays of the sun. Egyptians also believed makeup invoked the healing powers of the gods Horus and Ra and would keep them free of disease. Perfume was extremely popular as well. Egyptians considered fragrant smells a gift from the heavens, and they frequently wore perfumes to make their bodies smell sweet. Cinnamon, cardamom, and myrrh were common ingredients in their recipes. Their creations were so divine that Egypt became the ancient world's top exporter of perfumes. Ancient Egyptians' love for cosmetics ran so deep that they even took it to their graves. Eye makeup, body oils, and perfumes were applied to dead bodies so the person would look their best in the afterlife. Archaeologists still discover leftover makeup in clay pots when they explore ancient tombs. Although centuries have passed since Egyptian culture was at its height, their unique fashion sense continues to fascinate people.
All right, everybody, it's time to discuss the contents of today's lesson. And the title is The Important Role of Cosmetics in ancient Egypt. So, of course, we did talk about cosmetics earlier. That is also referred to as makeup. Cosmetics is the word we use more formally. I'm going to the department store to buy some cosmetics, for example.
Or we say, I'm going to the cosmetics counter to buy some makeup at the department stores, Which
includes mascara, rouge, eyeliner, lipstick, etc., etc. Those are all examples of cosmetics.
Well, I have to say rouge is kind of an old-fashioned term. Nowadays, we just call it blush, Tom.
Okay, good enough. Okay, I don't use makeup myself. My
Thank
face
goodness.
is already dang handsome enough. I don't need to use cosmetics. But in any case, here we go in the first paragraph. It says, if you study statues from ancient Egypt, you'll notice something remarkable. So yes, lots of us have free time on our hands to head off to Egypt there, maybe go to the British Museum or something, and we can study statues from ancient Egypt. Of course, a statue is a work of art that's three-dimensional, and it's usually of a person. It could also be of an animal.
They noticed that these folks were really into makeup just by looking at the statues. The next sentence starts out with the word while. This word while here is acting as a contrast between the two parts of the sentence. So the first part says, while people from most civilizations at the time preferred a simple and plain appearance. And here's the second part. Here's the contrast. Ancient Egyptians liked to look their best. So even though they were using makeup and kind of making a big deal about makeup and body oil perfumes, people in other civilizations actually liked a very simple and plain appearance, plain look. They didn't put all that makeup on. If you talk about a civilization, guys, you're talking about a group of people and their social development, their language, their art, all of their advancements or technology. But this is one civilization that was really quite advanced.
Right. You could also use the word though people from most civilizations at that time preferred simple and plain, etc., etc.
Or although.
Although, yes, you could use that as well. So most civilizations at the time, maybe Babylon or something, who knows, maybe ancient China, or was Greece around at that time? I'm not quite sure, but in any case here, most people in other civilizations liked to look simple and plain. But the Egyptians, that's of course a word that describes somebody from Egypt. You can still use that today. They like to look their best. They were always putting on their best clothing, their Sunday best clothing, and putting on cosmetics and stuff like that. Now, this was due in large part to their fondness for cosmetics. They just loved makeup. They just loved cosmetics. So that's why they wanted to look their best. And in ancient Egypt, everyone used cosmetics regardless of their place in society. Nowadays, of course, most people in society use cosmetics, mostly females. And I don't know, maybe poorer people don't really need it so much because they're working labor jobs or something, or working in the fields as farmers or something. But if you live in the city or something and you're working in an office, you're probably going to have to put on some makeup.
Yeah, it says here that everyone used it regardless of their place in society. So those people that were slaves, because the Egyptians had slaves, remember? They even thought it was important to have their cosmetics as they were working. Nowadays, I think Tom's right. If you're out in the field, when I was in high school, I had a job gardening early in the morning. I wouldn't wear makeup because it was just so hot, it would kind of melt off my face. But back then, everybody thought cosmetics were an important part, just getting dressed for the day.
Indeed. So, yes, nowadays it depends on your place in society. And here in the next paragraph, it says the most common item was body oil. And that's because of Egypt's harsh climate, which we'll get to in just a second here. But this is oil that you put on your body. Body oil, I guess that's considered a kind of cosmetic.
Well, at least in the States, we like to lay out in the sun. And if you want a really good tan, you don't put sunblock on, you put oil on, because that oil attracts the sun and it makes you really tan or really sunburn really fast.
Probably not a good idea.
Oh, I used it. It's a terrible idea, but you do that when you're young because supposedly with a tan, you look more handsome or more beautiful.
Yes, that's a Westerner's idea. I think in Taiwan here, you don't want to go out and get a suntan.
Total opposite, yeah.
It's the opposite here. But in any case here, because of Egypt's harsh climate, it was essential for people to keep their skin moist so it wouldn't dry out. So because of their harsh climate, it's a difficult climate there. It's hot, it's dry, etc. That's what harsh means. Usually it means fairly difficult to deal with. It's unpleasant. unpleasant, it's uncomfortable, harsh climate there. I guess it's kind of like a desert climate there in Egypt.
Yeah, totally.
So indeed, it was essential, it was vital. It was important for people to keep their skin moist with that body oil, so the skin would not dry out, and you don't want to have dry skin.
I wanted to mention we use this word harsh, this adjective, to also talk about someone's tone when they speak to you. Are they using a really harsh tone, which isn't very nice? They're probably mad at you. So you can use that for other things beside the climate, but you sound really kind of mean if you use a harsh tone. It was essential for them to keep their skin moist because Egypt is really hot and dry. It's a desert. It's kind of like the place where I grew up, Arizona. We have a desert out there, and you just constantly have to put on lotion. I couldn't even function if I didn't have a bottle of lotion in my purse.
Oh, no.
It's just so dry. People here would just be shocked to see how dry the climate can be in these other places. I don't even use hand lotion here in Taiwan. It's so humid. So if it's essential, it's really, really important. And we also know that body oils provided hydration, so people could work long hours outside. I mentioned they had slaves. Those poor slaves were building those beautiful structures in Egypt, and they used that oil to keep their skin from cracking and being chapped. If it's chapped, it's very dry skin. It kind of cracks open. It's horrible.
Chapped, indeed. Yeah. You could have chapped lips as well because of the dry weather during the winter.
Yeah.
Chapped lips. That was always a problem for me. And here to finish off the second paragraph, it says, in fact, ancient Egyptian workers were often given body oil as part of their salaries. Well, I'd rather take the money myself,
Me too.
but I guess the body oil would come in handy if you were out there working in the sun. Yes, indeed. Put that oil on to keep your skin nice and hydrated. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's now listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们首先来看到今天有第一个空格的句子，它写着 While people from most civilizations at the time preferred a simple and plain blank one, ancient Egyptians liked to look their best. 在这里呢，用 while 来连接对照两者之间的差异。前面的句子说到呢，虽然同时期大多数文明的民众偏好简单跟朴素的什么，但是呢，这些古埃及人却喜欢呈现出自己最好的一面。那整篇文章看下来讲到的就是化妆品能够改善自己的外表，所以搭配文意跟文法，第一个空格我们就选择 I 选项的appearance， 在这里呢代表着就是外表的意思。接着第二个空格的句子写着 This was due in large part to their blank two for cosmetics。古埃及人为什么会喜欢这样呢？大部分呢是因为他们对于化妆品的什么，放在所有个 their 后面，我们需要一个名词搭配句意，因为他们非常喜爱化妆品，所以我们可以选择 H 选项的 fondness， 在这里当作名词就解释成为喜爱的意思。第二段第三个空格的句子提到呢，由于埃及的气候严酷，所以这里说到 It was essential for people to keep their skin blank 3 so it wouldn't dry out。对于呢这些人来说，要保持皮肤怎么样是很重要，这样子皮肤才不会太干燥。在这里的 keep 加上受词，它要保持怎样的状态，可以搭配一个形容词，搭配文意，我们可以选择一选项 moist， 在这里当作形容词就是有潮湿的意思，干燥的天气里面要保持皮肤是有潮湿的状态。接着第四个空格的句子写着 In fact, ancient Egyptian workers were often given body oils as part of their blank 4. 事实上呢，当时古埃及的这些工人呢，甚至也会被给予什么呢？被给予这些身体的油来当作部分的什么？ 工人领薪水，当时 body oils 非常受欢迎，也很重要，所以搭配文意。第4题放在所有格后面，选择名词 C salaries， 在这里则是有薪水的意思。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We shall now continue with the next part of our lesson. Again, we're talking about cosmetics in ancient Egypt, and of course, they played an important role in their society. We just got done talking about body oil. They used that to keep their skin nice, soft, and supple, and hydrated because of the harsh climate there. Now, let's move on now to the third paragraph. It says, green and black makeup was commonly applied around Egyptians' eyes to create the illusion of almond-shaped eyes. So we've got black makeup and green makeup. That sounds kind of unusual to me, but I guess that's what they did. Did mention the word makeup earlier. That's the same thing as cosmetics, although it's more common. Put on some makeup. You're going to the restaurant tonight. You don't want to look like a slob. But in any case here, yes, they put on this makeup around their eyes and they applied it around their eyes. Here we have the verb to apply, which means to put something on your skin like makeup or oil.
Right. It's a little more formal than just say, I want to put on some makeup. To apply some makeup. They've probably used that particular verb in commercials for makeup that's sold. It says they put this makeup around their eyes to create the illusion of almond-shaped eyes. Almond is a nut. Think of the shape of that nut. And they wanted to create the illusion. Illusion is kind of a false picture or a false appearance. It looks like something, but it really isn't. So a lot of times, ladies will use dark shading around their nose to give you the illusion of a thinner nose because a lot of the girls, they like that. Or they'll put dark shading on their cheekbones to give them the illusion of having higher cheekbones, which look quite beautiful. So a lot of makeup is used to give someone the illusion of something that's not really there.
Sounds cool. And in addition, or also, this makeup helped shield the eyes from the powerful rays of the sun. Now, the makeup is not going over your eyes like sunglasses, but they're going around your eyes, and I guess for some reason that cuts down on the reflections off of your skin, so the light isn't so bright. That must have something to it, or there must be something to that, because athletes nowadays often put on, I think that's
black.
called blackface. I think that's what it's called.
I can't remember.
But you put it on your cheeks, basically, just under your eyes, and that supposedly cuts down on the reflections of bright light.
The glare.
The glare, exactly, if you're playing sports in a brightly lit stadium or in the afternoon or something like that. So that sounds similar here. It shielded or protected the eyes from the bright rays of the sun. Now, Egyptians also believed makeup invoked the healing powers of the gods Horus and Ra and would keep them free of disease. So, of course, here we've got the makeup. It could invoke those healing powers. Here we've got the word invoke as a verb. That just means it sort of brings something out. If you call for it, it comes out. Maybe you could invoke something from your God. If you pray to God, God will grant you something. So you can invoke something from your God if you pray. In this particular case, you get these healing powers from the gods, the Egyptian gods called Horus, who I believe was, Horus was somebody who protected the pharaohs, basically, the kings and the queens there. And we've also got Ra, which is kind of like their sun god.
That's right. I wanted to mention here that black that you see around athletes' eyes, it's called eye black, not blackface. So I didn't know what it was called either. I've always called it black tar. So that's what I looked up, but it's actually called eye black. Blackface is when white people or people who aren't black themselves put on black makeup to appear as if they are black. That's considered to be offensive these days, so don't do that. But that eye black that athletes wear, it really does cut down on the glare, especially for those baseball players.
I've never been good at sports, so I wouldn't know, but it looks like most athletes, or at least a lot of them, use it, eye black. Not blackface, but in any case here, that takes care of the makeup around the eyes. And let's move on now to perfume. Okay? I guess perfume is considered a cosmetic.
Or perfume. You can say it either way. Perfume or perfume.
It was extremely popular as well in ancient Egypt. Now, Egyptians considered fragrant smells a gift from the heavens.
Nice.
And they frequently wore perfumes to make their bodies smell sweet. So, indeed, this is common in cultures around the world to make yourself smell kind of sweet, kind of presentable, especially if you've been outside working in the sun and you're sweating. You could probably smell really badly.
Totally.
My wife is always complaining to me after I exercise, boy, you stink. You need to take a shower.
Here, they're talking about fragrant smells. Fragrant just means having a very pleasant or sweet smell. You can't use fragrant to describe a smell that stinks. If it stinks, you can describe it as an odor. But here we're talking about nice smells. They use things like cinnamon, which is a spice. We cook with it. Cardamom is also a very popular spice. Nowadays, they're putting it in a lot of recipes. I'd never heard of this when I was young, Tom. Cardamom. And myrrh is one of the spices that is in the Bible. When the kings visit the baby Jesus, they bring frankincense, incense, and myrrh, or something like that. I can't remember what it is.
I don't remember either.
Myrrh.
But that's the only place I've heard of this
You'll
before.
never see that again, but myrrh is how that's pronounced.
Comes from some tree or something like that. Yeah.
So their creations, things that they created, are called creations. Things that someone thought of themselves, put together, were so divine that Egypt became the ancient world's top exporter of perfumes. Perfume is a non-count noun, guys. But if you're talking about different kinds of perfume, then you can say perfumes. It's kind of like food and foods, right? Food is non-count. But if you have lots of different kinds of food, you can call it foods.
Right. In the ancient world, I think probably France is the modern world's top exporter of perfumes. I would guess that. But in any case here, the final paragraph begins by saying, ancient Egyptians' love for cosmetics ran so deep that they even took it to their graves. So it ran so deep. In other words, they just really loved it in all levels of society. Poor people, middle class, upper class, men, women, old people, young people. They all loved cosmetics, so their love ran deep. And because of that, they even took it to their graves. I don't think they did so on purpose because they were dead, but I think people probably gave it to the bodies, or the bodies were buried with perfume, probably applied to the bodies themselves.
Totally. Yeah, if you see some of the mummies, they actually still have perfume that you can smell if you open up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their tombs. And also, they have makeup around their eyes. Of course, there's not much left of them. But if they're mummies, their body's been preserved longer. They have eye makeup, body oils, and perfumes that were applied to dead bodies so that a person that had died, they would look their best in the afterlife. The afterlife is a word we use to talk about where we go after we die. Our afterlife. Some people will say it's heaven or hell, but afterlife is just life after death.
It's a general term because lots of different cultures and religions have different ideas about what comes after death, the afterlife. And here we've got people who study human history, and they go out and digs and stuff, and they look for old pots and old teeth fragments and bones and stuff. Those are called archaeologists, and they study archaeology, and they still discover leftover makeup in clay pots when they explore ancient tombs.
Cool.
So in Egypt, of course, they find these old tombs. Of course, those are chambers where bodies were kept after they died.
In the pyramids, there are some tombs in the pyramids.
Sure. And there's the Ming tombs outside of Beijing. My wife and I went to see that many years ago. But in any case here, they find this makeup or cosmetics in clay pots in those tombs. Okay, so here it finally says, although centuries have passed since Egyptian culture was at its height, their unique fashion sense continues to fascinate people. nowadays. So indeed, centuries have passed. The ancient Egyptian culture is long gone, but it was at its height, it was at its most powerful, and it was unique. They had this unique fashion sense, which was one of a kind. Nobody else had this fashion sense.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Take a quick look online to see some of the famous Egyptians, like Cleopatra. She had excellent makeup. At least she did in the movies. Right now, guys, we're going to wrap up by listening to our Chinese teacher.
第5个空格的句子在这里提到 This makeup helped blank 5 the eyes from the powerful rays of the sun. 其实这样子的化妆品呢，会保护他的眼睛，然后不受到强烈阳光的照射。在这里 helped 后面可以搭配一个原形动词，搭配文意，我们可以选择 D 选项的 shield。Shield 在这里当作动词，也就是有保护、防御，然后搭配介系词 from， 免于呢受到阳光的照射。接着后面的句子提到 Egyptians also believed makeup invoked the blank 6 powers of the gods Horus and Ra and would keep them free of disease. 除此之外呢，古埃及人也认为呢，化妆品可以唤起这2位神奇的什么力量，然后可以让他们免于疾病。在这里呢，当然是希望搭配免于疾病，就是要有这2位神奇的疗愈的能力。搭配文意，第6题可以选择 F 选项的 healing， 则是有疗愈的、有疗效的意思。第7个空格的句子写着 Perfume was extremely blank 7 as well. 除了化妆品之外，这里要谈的是香水，后面的 as well同样也是非常的受到欢迎，所以第7题放在 be 动词的后面，可以搭配形容词，还有文意的 A 选项 popular 代表着是受到欢迎的意思。而在这样子的香水当中呢，哪些的成分是常见的呢？在这里第8个空格 cinnamon, cardamom and myrrh were common blank 8 in their recipes. 在这里的 recipes 解释成为配方，也就是说香水里面的配方常常可以看得到肉桂、豆蔻跟没药都是常见的元素跟内涵的成分。搭配文意，第8题我们可以选择 G 选项的 ingredients。第9个空格 Ancient Egyptians' love for cosmetics ran so deep that they even took it to their blank 9。这里也是放在所有格的后面搭配名词。古埃及人对于化妆品的爱呢是如此之深，以至于甚至都把它们带到哪里去。后面提到会有把化妆品、身体油跟香水都涂抹在遗体上面，所以搭配文意，第9题我们可以选择 J 选项的 graves， 在这里是指坟墓的意思。第10个空格 Archaeologists still discover leftover makeup in clay pots when they blank 10 ancient tombs. 其实这些人类学家、考古学家在怎么样古墓的时候，仍然会在陶罐当中发现残余的化妆品。在这里 when 连接前后2个句子，主词后面 they 加的是动词，我们可以选择 B 选项 explore， 在这里也就是有探索的意思。OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That's all for today, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again next time for another edition of our program. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.